I wasn't sure if I was gonna get to do this video since I am really busy at the moment, retraining for cyber, whatever that is. Remember the arts? Do you remember them? The arts? They were good, weren't they? Comedy, music, literature, theatre. It was good when it lasted. The arts, they were canny good. Not improv. Improv was shit. Oh, can you give us the name of a famous person you don't expect to see at Waitrose? Fucking rubbish. If defunding the arts means we can get rid of improv, I am fine with that. Speaking of pointless political posturing, this is Hunt for Huddersfield, #1, a hilarious rollercoaster ride of a bad comic book miniseries, and despite all the lame ideas, the barely thought out allegories, and the perverse amount of unrecognisable characters, I still think the worst thing about the whole series are the covers, which are by Daniel Tuna. If anyone watching is curious who the next star of artists who are overrated acts is going to be, let us just give you a hint. Fortunately, the art inside is by Stan Jurgensen, and it is the most competent part of the series. But this story mainly exists to do a very forced and nonsensical allegory about Hurricane Katrina and border control. I can't help but think, keep your politics out of me bleeding comic books. But if you took the politics out of this comic, then it loses the only understandable plot thread. The town of Huddersfield in the Midlands, it was bombed and destroyed in DC's Infinite Christmas crossover. There was about 15 quid's worth of damage. This miniseries is dealing with the fallout from that, and it starts relatively promising with a bunch of heroes, the Tiny Titans, and you think they're gonna be like the book's heroes or its main stars. Take a good look at them because they are at best going to make up about 2% of this book's stupid and redundant cast. Also, Robot Man, Brendan Fraser, he is there, really funny guy. Remember when he sold his soul to Elizabeth Early for a date with an uglier woman? Well, Robot Man is there, and he doesn't appear on another page of this 6-issue miniseries. Neither do some of these other Tiny Titans. Excellent idea to open up this book with a set of characters that either turn out to be a minor presence in the story, like Robert, or most of which are not even among that minor presence. This series and its main characters are instead a mixture of D-list DC heroes and villains, some of which you might actually recognise. And then new characters or new versions of odd characters who didn't go anywhere because they were buried in the background of their introduction. Here we have got a team called the 4th of July. You might know one of them from Suicide Squads, like I did, but now it is a different bloke entirely, and didn't bother latching onto him due to familiarity, because he's fucking barely in it. The two most well-known characters in this series are Robert, the John Blake version, and Captain Atom-Ant. Both of them are arguably minor characters in this. Robert, he doesn't appear in several issues. Captain Atom-Ant, he is not in this one. And then he is just in the background for the next 4 until finally doing stuff in issue 6. And you can do a series that shines a light on really obscure characters or new takes on odd characters. There have been loads of books that have done that successfully, like Kevin Griffin at Marvel with the cosmic characters. That was the same time this book came out. This doesn't work because there are too many bloody characters and they are all set up poorly and then barely used. Here is another 6 that you have not heard of. We're not told who these characters are, and to most readers, the majority of the characters in this are entirely new, and none of them are given enough today to really be identified, let alone appeal to someone. Right, Huddersfield, it's like quarantined by the government because it was blown up and it's radioactive and stuff now, and there are crowds of people who aren't allowed to enter even though they live in Huddersfield, and the government, their aid and relief, it's effectively just keeping them out. Here is one of our main characters, I suppose. Evil government man. Father Summit, I cannot remember. The Father Government. I don't know. I don't care. If your favourite DC character is this bloke, can you please comment down below? I have some follow-up questions about your mental health. The government is evil. That is the plot. They didn't do nice things. They are all fascists because they are the government. They have got their fascist labs, and they have got their fascist superhumans, and then there's some shite about a nuclear family, and then, look, some more characters. We have got 7 supervillains with nuclear powers. I didn't know any of their names. I've read loads of DC, and I didn't know any of them. And the book doesn't tell us any of their names until next issue, when we begin with a ridiculous cast of characters on the previously on page, which by issue 6 is honestly 40 characters. Now we have the 4th of July fighting the Nuclear Legion, and it is really exciting and tense because you know these characters so well. Like this one down here, I thought I knew who that was. I thought this was an hard Firelord baddie, but no, it's a new character. It's a different character. And then some more characters, and none of this works. Everyone is set up so poorly, and they are so rubbish. And one of the new characters, and sadly the one who receives the most page time and setup, is this unlikable twat. This guy is basically modern day Russell Brand. He is the ill-educated political pundit who just spouts jargon and sound bites. There's a good video of it. If you want to know what this character is like, I just realised this character, he is also called Brand. But yeah, there's this video in the run-up to the 2016 general election out here. Russell Brand, he decided to become like a political activist, and he was being interviewed by Jeremy Paxman, and Russell Brand, he just waffles on for 10 minutes, saying nothing of any substance whatsoever. He like bangs on saying meaningless drivel where he's like, the younger generation needs to reject voting for a government because of the paradigm of the status quo. Seriously, go and watch. He's being interviewed by Jeremy Paxman, and he's talking about how young people shouldn't vote, and he tries to incite a working class revolution, and it's all fucking nonsense. That is exactly what this character is. We have some more characters out here who join forces with Brand, and then more fights which mean nothing because none of these people matter to the reader. And if you're thinking that maybe this is just the first issue, like it is first issue jitters, and that once we get past the hurdle of bringing in characters like this, maybe the story can settle down and start focusing on some of the people we've had show up in this first issue. It doesn't. For the next 5 issues, it just continues to keep introducing more and more characters. Major Tom, he's not in this issue, and he ends up being like the main baddie. Green Lanterns, fucking Green Lanterns, he randomly shows up. I forgot about him earlier on. He's that inconsequential to it. And our end, it isn't a cliffhanger. It is the introduction of 6 more obscure characters. The Atomic Knights. I think some people like them. This is a fucking mess. Do not enter by order of the United States government. Even the government think that this comic is hazardous to your life. The writers for this one, they should retrain for cyber. I was getting worried during this video that I wasn't recapping this very well, but no, I have done a great job. You'll come away from this review and understand this comic more than if you read it. This is bad. This comic is bad. Huddersfield is a bad place in general. I had a sausage there that made me feel ill, so that is why I gotta give this one a 7 thumbs up.